Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts video. So in the Kingdom Hearts series right now, we have a lot of characters that we know of, but essentially don't really know anything as far as their motives, where they come from, or who they actually are. We have characters like Foretellers, Luxu, and the Master of Masters that we all know are going to be major forces to our heroes as we head into Phase 2, but haven't really been built upon yet. And with theories being thrown around left and right, something I'm guilty of as well, and with Melody of Memory releasing some new lore to connect with the series proper, I think it'd be good to just kind of go through and talk about everything we know about everything that's been actually confirmed about these characters so far, and where they could take us in the future of the series. And today I think I'd start with Yozora. And also, just to be clear, this will cover all of the in-game lore that we know about Yozora, so no extended lore like interviews or anything like that. Because while that stuff is interesting, I want to focus on things the series has presented as concrete facts. And if you guys want to see more videos like these, sort of explaining the lore of the series, explaining concepts of Kingdom Hearts, let me know. And before we get started though, if you want to see more JRPG content like Kingdom Hearts or Persona, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on. We've started our push to have over 1,000 Guardians of Twilight in the community, and we are already over halfway there. So if you want to help the community grow, you only have to do one thing. If you know someone who would like this or any of my other videos after you subscribe, why not go ahead and just send it to them? It'd be great if we can grow even more and have more people in the community in the comments discussing about theories or anything like that. And if you want to talk to myself or other Kingdom Hearts or JRPG fans, make sure you join the official Guardians of Twilight Discord server. Link will be down below in the description. But for now, let's get into the lore of Yozora. So, the Verum Rex trailer is an interesting case. The first time we were introduced to Yozora as a character, it was as a video game character for a game in the toy box called Verum Rex. The two companions you see alongside him are called Magia and Aegis, and we know this because of a deleted cutscene where Rex was talking to Donald and Goofy, calling him those names. It's likely that Aegis is the one putting up barriers since the name Aegis relates to the concept of physical protection, and Magia is the one casting magic since it's pretty one-to-one with the word magic. In this trailer, we also know that the enemies of this world are called Gigas, and in this trailer, we see Yozora, Magia, and Aegis trying to save a girl who seems to be at the center of everything, but we don't really know her name. We do, however, know that she ended up in the final world in Kingdom Hearts 3 because she ended up meeting with Sora. There's a lot of speculation of the nameless star being called Sora, but in reality that hasn't been confirmed. She did end up telling Sora that Yozora's heart has been changed beyond recognition because his heart was taken by someone else or replaced by another's. But were Yozora to regain his old self, he would be distressed by the Nameless Star's absence. Now, in regards to Yozora and the Nameless Star in the world of Verum Rex, we don't really know why the conflict in that trailer was happening or what happened leading up to it, but I did do a video talking about it and how it could relate to the Master of Masters, and I'll put that in a card in the top corner. All in all though, this trailer exists to introduce us to the world of Verum Rex and Yozora. So instead of just showing the clip and talking about it afterwards, I'm probably just gonna let this go along, or else it's gonna be a 20-minute video, and I'm sure you guys don't want that. Now, this one left a lot of people confused when they first watched it, myself included. This scene takes place after Sora has been essentially kicked out of the entire Kingdom Hearts universe for messing with time and breaking the rules of nature in Kingdom Hearts 3. This scene, however, has him waking up in the night version of the final world. Then after getting his bearings, he runs into Yozora. This conversation in particular threw me for a loop when I first watched it because there's some information here that when put together with other information doesn't make a ton of sense, but let's break it down. So first off, when Sora tells Yozora his name, Yozora seems surprised, so that does tell us that he knows of a Sora. Whether or not it's the one we're familiar with has yet to be seen, but we do know that he has heard of someone named Sora. Now then, Yozora confirms that where the two of them met isn't the real world and that the form we see Yozora as isn't his real form. From that, we can pretty safely assume that his heart still hasn't returned to him and he's not his original self. Sora's dive to the heart is then summoned before they begin the fight. Now, this is pretty interesting because Stations of Awakening outside of tutorial purposes only really appear when characters in them are related to one another. Sora's dive to the heart is then summoned before they begin the fight. Now, this one's pretty interesting in itself, because dives to the heart outside of tutorial purposes really only appear when the characters in them are related to one another. For example, in Kingdom Hearts 2 during the Roxas vs Sora fight, the fight takes place in Sora's dive to the heart because of course Roxas is Sora's nobody. Or in Birth by Sleep when you have the Ventus and Vanitas fight, it takes place in Ventus's dive to the heart, and then you can see that Ventus and Vanitas are connected because they are connected. Ventus is a part of Vanitas and vice versa. That in itself launched a couple of theories because that would mean Sora and Yozora are connected somehow. And of course, as you've probably heard by now, Sora's name in Japanese means sky, whereas Yozora translates to night sky, so that further enforces the fact that there could be some connection there as well. Yozora then says he wandered into this place and went through some trials. Now, a lot of people believe that since they're in Shibuya that this could mean they played the Reaper's game from The World Ends With You. But in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, we actually know that that world is called Quadratum, not Shibuya. So while it is possible, that could also not be the case. The trials could just as easily be related to whoever told him to save Sora, but again, we just don't really have any information. And finally, we get to this. So there are two endings depending on whether you win or lose to Yozora. The ending where you lose shows Sora getting crystallized and Yozora walking up to him saying, "I will save you." There really hasn't been a lot of talk about what exactly that means because we don't really have any leads as far as what exactly that's referring to. But afterwards, you see Yozora in the final world and then him waking up in a car. Then you hear Yozora say the lines from Kingdom Hearts 1 in, "I've been having these weird thoughts lately, like is any of this for real or not?" Then adding in, "None of this makes sense to me." Then finally, if you beat Yozora, you see him fading away and saying his powers aren't needed yet. When Sora asks him what that means in Kingdom Hearts fashion, Yozora then says, "Never mind." So at the end of the day, we don't really know what Yozora is here to do or why he wants to save Sora. Then after seeing Sora in the final world, we see Yozora waking up in that same car, but then we hear Luxord's voice saying, "Impressive, is it not?" So we can pretty much assume that Luxord has something to do with Yozora since he's in some sort of role beneath him, being his cab driver. Then we hear the same lines from Kingdom Hearts 1, but this time with Sora saying, "None of this makes sense to me." Then we see Kingdom Hearts and Oath to Return. So that's gonna be all today. With this video, I just wanted to clear up any misconceptions of things that might have been confusing about Yozora, or some things that you might have missed. Now, if you want to see more videos like these that explain the lore of this series or what we know about certain characters, let me know down below in the comments. And if this video helped you understand the lore surrounding Yozora just a bit more, how about you leave a like to me to let me know you enjoyed the video. And finally, if you want to become a Guardian of Twilight, make sure you subscribe to the channel, support your boy, and join the community's Discord. But that's gonna be all from me today though, so my name is Moose1 and I will talk to y'all next time. Peace out.